And
Hi, Lindsay. Good to see you too.
it's such a great day. And I'll tell you, my mind has been wandering about kids and what's been happening with them and their lives and yada yada. I'm sure everybody's in this mode. But
Yes.
it came to me that I really would like to talk about something that I call keeping their lights on. Okay.
Mm, okay.
So when you're watching your kids do stuff that is natural to them and that feels like it's just part of who they are, maybe even aligned with their soul's purpose, is what I've learned that it kind of means. They
Mm-hmm.
are so lit up. Their energy is high energy. Their
Yeah.
eyes sparkle. They look like they're just, in flow. They're doing their thing. When your kids are in the opposite of that, they tend to look a little droopy, a little sad, kind of darker, more ashen. They just don't look very, I don't know. I hate to use the word happy because you can be, I call it lights on underwater. Like you
Mm,
could be crying, but still very lit up. You're still in your purpose and in your zone. So I hate to use the word happy, but at least in flow or energetically aligned might be the right word.
mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
blood is flowing, everything is going. So I thought it would be really important to just talk about some mechanisms that we can use as moms to help our kids keep their lights on and to use discernment for choosing whether or not an activity is the best for them or not. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So all right, I'll just give an example and then you can talk about maybe what you do a little bit with your kids too.
Okay.
So, I think in one of the cases with my kids, one of the things my son was absolutely lights on about when he was young was building things, building Legos, building train sets, building,
Right.
building, 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 building. It was with his hands, he was constantly building something. And I could see he was magically lit up about it. He just looked like he was in flow every single minute. If I took my son away from that and asked him to clean his room or anything even remotely that sounded or looked like a chore, he was lights off.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, now, there's times when we have to contribute to family dynamics, to what goes on in the household, right? So we can't constantly be looking for everything that's fun as being lights on,
Right.
but we have to find a place inside where contribution means something good or it feels good. So as a mom, I would ask my son in this case, what is it that you do feel like contributing to the family? If it's not cleaning up your room right now, I get it. Maybe that's not the thing right now. It's not now. Then what? And then he would think about it and maybe say something like, I'll take out the trash. Okay, that
Okay.
works.
Yeah.
Lights on, right? I allowed my kids to think through what it was that would be the representation of that word, call it contribution. Okay. So if contribution was the concept and mom needed some help with contributing children,
Mm-hmm.
I would ask them to tell me what would feel good. If it's not, hey, your room, okay, that's not the one, then what else is it? So at a very young age, and whether my kids could articulate it or not today, I know that I gave them practice in discernment around this feels better than that. That feels better than that. That feels better than that. And when it feels better on the inside, it's generally more aligned to who we really are. And we call that being lights on. I told my kids I will always do my level best to help you keep your lights on. That is my job as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, curiosity, how do you know? How do your kids present to you? You know that they're lit up, they're in their flow, they're in their good space that allows them to flourish.
I mean, the first thing that came to mind, I can see this happening a lot with my girls, and maybe it's because they're at home with me more because they're homeschooled.
Yeah.
And I can tell, even it doesn't have to be school stuff, but with school stuff, I can say, hey, we're going to work on a project this week. Would you rather do a project about this, or would you rather do a project about this? And I can
Yeah.
instantly tell just through their enthusiasm or lack of enthusiasm, which way they want to go. So I
Yeah.
guess I do a little bit of that already. I wish I would have started at a younger age
Mhm.
because I
Yep.
don't really recall doing a lot of that when they
Mhm.
were wee little, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But they are learning that now, and being able to
Perfect.
homeschool them is giving us that kind of flexibility, because that's the one thing like with school that I never really liked. I feel like there were a lot of things that were forced on me that had
Oh,
nothing to do
totally.
with my light.
Yep.
That was just, this is the way you do it, and this is the time of day you do it, and then you do this. And it was just all very choreographed, and you just kind of had to go with the program.
You're
And
so
I think for
right.
a lot of kids, that turns their lights off to the point, like for me, once I got out of school, I didn't want to ever go back to school. It wasn't even a question, like, get me out of that, which is
Yep.
sad because learning can be fun and should be fun and enjoyable, right?
100%.
But if you're
Yes.
constantly forced to not do something that allows your light to shine, you're going
Yeah.
to regret it. And whether it's school or something else, you know?
Absolutely. So there's a really hot tip that I have here that it really just came to me to be sure to share this.
Okay.
One of the best ways to assist our kids in knowing whether or not something is lights on for them or not
Hmm.
is to master the discernment for ourselves. So, as a parent, we can model this. Like, gosh, you guys, I am not at all lit up about going to pizza. That does not sound good tonight. Sorry. But what does light me up, or what sounds even better, is, and then list it Mexican food, Chinese food, whatever. And then the kids are like, oh, she said that in a different way,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and then you can kind of explain. It's like when I sit quietly with the thought of pizza versus Chinese versus Mexican food, what I get back is a feeling inside that is much more pleasant. It's a more pleasant feeling on the inside. And that's what I'm trying to impart to you. When you can choose that between soccer, football, and camp, what feels the best to you? And that level of internal discernment can literally save your life
Yeah.
in many ways. It is a skill that it can be mastered. And if you become masterful at it as a kid, you'll always learn or know as an adult whether party, homework, or, girlfriend is more important than something else. You will learn the discernment because a lot of times three things sound equally as fun or as adventurous, but one of them is generally more aligned to what your soul or your longer term purpose or your calling is.
Right.
And that's all this is. It's a practice in discernment, and we can learn it every day. Just notice, am I lights on about that? No, I'm really not.
Uh-huh.
And it's hard at first. You're like, oh, how do I do that? But just sitting with it once in a blue moon, you can get there. Just really try, moms. If you're out there, try. Are you more lights on about the chai latte or the hot cocoa? Or
Yeah.
none of the above,
Yeah. And
right?
I love that idea of modeling that for our kids. And you can be vocal about it too. Because there have been times
Absolutely.
with my girls that I have said out loud, listen, I don't really feel like doing that,
Mhm.
but this could work or this could work. What do
Yes.
you guys think about those kind of options? And I wasn't even kind of going through the mental process that we are now. I didn't realize what I was doing.
Yep.
But I think it's so important that we do model this, because this is going against what society typically tells us. Like if you were to ask my husband, he'd be like, "No, whether you want to take out the trash now or not, I don't care. The trash needs to be taken out."
Right.
Right? And
Right.
so many people are like that. It's like it's got to get
Absolutely.
done. So let's get it done. Just get it done. Grin and bear it. How many
Yep.
times have we heard that?
Yep.
Grin and bear
Suck
it.
it up,
Suck it
buttercup.
up,
Yep.
buttercup.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It is.
But
It's true.
but
Mhm.
that's not, I mean, not saying that the trash doesn't need to be taken out, but like you said,
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't have to be done right in that moment.
Correct.
Sometimes I feel completely different. If you don't make me do something right this second because I'm just not in the mood, maybe 10 minutes. I'll be okay
Absolutely.
with it. Okay.
Yep.
Just like give me a little bit of space. Let me just kind of emote a little bit or whatever I need to do to get to
Yep.
that place. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, so many times as adults, we get really tired of being interrupted.
Hmm.
It's usually mom, 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 mom. For the longest time, I used to think of my kids as the seagulls. You
Mine,
know,
mine, 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 mine.
mom, mine, mine. And when you have four, which you do, it's like, whoa, double the fun. And so, I think about that, how many times I interrupted my kids. When I would say something like, hey, you got to clean up your room right now.
Yep.
I realized much later, unfortunately, they'll tell you, but I realized much later, I was just interrupting them in their flow, in their process, in their whatever. There's another hot tip that we can use, and it's a question that you can always apply. When a kid comes to you and says, mom, I really want to go to that camp, and here's when it is, and blah, 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 you can say, okay, what about that camp is really giving you that positive energy feeling? What is that? Because it's not the camp. It's not outside of ourselves that the thing usually is that's giving us the positive energy. There's something that the kid thinks they're going to get out of camp, whether it's meeting a new friend or learning how to kayak or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's whatever it is lighting them up. It's not the camp.
Yeah.
The thing itself is just the pointer too, but it's the feeling they're going for.
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes it isn't the camp, or maybe you can't afford the camp, or the camp isn't the thing. But you start to realize, but my kid wants to have a feeling of accomplishment. I want to master kayaking. Okay, maybe there's another way to kayak, or my kid is looking to meet more friends. Got it. Maybe it's not camp, but maybe we need to do other things. So
Right.
it's that listening deeper to the what about it. So if a kid says, I'm really lit up about going to camp, or I'm really lit up about going to that school, or I blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. What about that is really giving you the energy that you feel positive about?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
So,
That's
and
true.
it works for us too. It works.
It works for adults as well. Yeah.
It, in
Absolutely.
fact, better. It's more juicy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that will help you prioritize and really figure things out too, because you're right. It is more about the feeling or something that you feel like you're going to get out of it as opposed to the actual event. And if you can narrow
Correct.
down on that, it helps you understand yourself better. And that's what I feel like
Indeed.
we're kind of on this big quest to understand ourselves better. Everything has us
Indeed.
focused out there, but it's not really about what's out there. It's about what's in here. And this is like the last place a lot of us look,
Yeah.
turning inward and getting to know ourselves better, because
Without a
then
doubt.
we can navigate life easier when we understand who we really are.
And we can help our kids.
Yeah.
So just a little sidebar on that.
Mm.
I don't know about you, but I hated being pregnant. Like, I did not want to be pregnant. However, I was exceedingly lights on about having kids.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was really easy for me at that time in my life. I was almost 30 when I had my first kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was easy for me to say yes to that.
Yep.
And second one as well. It's like, oh, I wanted to be mom, and I know this is the way through, so I gotta go do it. But I didn't want to. Like, I was in a lot of resistance. You can ask my husband, the kid's dad. He was like, oh, yeah, she was a monster, right? But I wouldn't have traded it for anything
Right.
at this point. So when new moms are out there thinking about, gosh, do I really want to have the experience of what I'm going to learn when I become a mom? The answer is yes. You'll learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the greatest blessings you could ever be given is to have children and be a mom.
It teaches you so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can't even explain the college of kiddom.
Yeah.
You just
Seriously.
can't. There's no way to explain it. If you want that experience and you want to learn and grow, the fastest, bestest, most lights on way to do it is to have a kid or two. Or in Cindy's case, 4, and another kid's case is 5.
Yeah.
Whatever. You might get addicted to it. We cannot confirm or deny that. We don't
You
know.
never know what's going to come. You could have 2 at once, like me. So you just never know.
You just don't know. So there you go. Just stay lights on and we'll be there with you.
That's right. All right. Awesome.